Pretty good. How are you doing?
Excellent. Excellent for a Sunday. Not too bad. What is this, show number 246? Yeah, 246. So, yeah, doing good. Glad you could join. Saw you just post. I just opened up the Flickr group, so I posted a few images. Cool.
Yeah, I got a couple things done.
Good. That's more than I got this week.
Yeah.
Good. So, everybody back in school, everything back to normal craziness now? Everybody back on, I'm sure by now, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely craziness. And we had the first football game was yesterday, so.
Oh, okay. Did they, I'm assuming they won. They probably played like a high school team or something, right?
Yeah, it was like Charleston Southern.
Mm-hmm. High school team. Probably, comparatively, huh?
It's like 50-something to 3, I think, or something.
Yeah. I think Georgia played Austin P, which is, I guess, an okay team, but I mean, Georgia's ranked third in the country, so I don't know if it wasn't that bad, but it was like 38-6 or something. I mean, just typical kind of a sacrificial blowout game where the little school gets a bunch of money for showing up and playing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good. Yeah, I guess day off tomorrow. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I do. First one in a long time.
Yeah, really since 4th of July probably for you, huh? Yeah. Probably the last one. But yeah, you didn't. You took a little bit of a. You took a few days vacation, right? In July?
Yeah, I took some vacation, but not any actual holidays.
Okay, yeah. That's true. Yeah, we were talking about that. What are the favorite holidays? And I'm like, well, you got to count any holiday that's guaranteed to give you a 3-day weekend. So that's Labor Day, Memorial Day, because they're always on a Monday, and then you got to go probably Thanksgiving, because a lot of times people get Thanksgiving in the day after. So that's that's a 4-day weekend, and then 4th of July and New Year's and Christmas just depend on when they float in the week. But in terms of guaranteed 3-day weekend, and Memorial Day and Labor Day got to be there, and then probably Thanksgiving after that, I guess. So, but yeah, we're tomorrow's Memorial Day, and then we're in it till Thanksgiving, I guess. Yeah, unless somebody's workplace gives day off for Halloween. I'm sure Joe doesn't have to work on Halloween, right? He doesn't know. He's still thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, next holiday really is Thanksgiving, which is almost 3 months away now at this point. So
yeah,
you there, Joe?
Yeah, now I can hear everybody. Yeah.
Okay, good. How's it going?
Oh man, I've got a lasagna in the oven. So
lasagna. Oh wow, you're actually making lasagna.
I have actually been cooking now for. I started it about. I'm going on about 4 hours now.
Wow.
Yeah, because it takes me a while to make my gravy. You know what I'm saying? To me, your sauce. Most people call it sauce, but yeah, it takes me at least that. You have to put it together, and then it has to cook for at least 2 hours, a minimum, right?
I was going to say, if you're putting gravy in lasagna, you're doing it wrong.
Italian gravy.
Italian gravy, right? Yeah. So I am part Italian, so the family calls it gravy, right?
So you make the sauce or the gravy, then you cook it for a couple of hours, and only then do you add it to the rest of the lasagna stuff, and then you cook the lasagna on top of that.
Yeah, you make your white cheese filling mixture, however you want to call it, the ricotta with the Parmesan, and you mix that whole thing up, your parsley and all that, and then you assemble, right? Then you assemble.
So how much you making? You making a full sheet pan, pretty much, big pan?
I made a full. I used one of the disposable foil. Aluminum foil, aluminum, or however they say it across the pond.
Aluminum, yes.
Yeah, I used one of those aluminum foil disposable ones because I didn't want to have to clean up anything. So I'm like, yeah, I could just make it. Plus, they seem to be a nice depth. I like it to be at least 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
My lasagna pan's only about 2 1/4 or something like that. It's not very so, and I still filled that thing up to the rim. So
yeah, you're gonna have lasagna for the rest of the week. You'll be eating lasagna next Sunday still, probably.
So my second layer, though, I put my secret ingredient. So I put a whole layer of green chili in there. So it's
excellent.
But it's the first time I'm not a big mushroom guy, so I don't cook with a lot of mushrooms.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'll eat, like, if you were to make something, you make it with mushrooms, I'll eat it. It's just, I don't know. But for some reason this time it intrigued me. I was like, you know what? Yeah, if I just make cook my sauce down for 2.5 hours or so, it just cooks the mushrooms down anyway. It just gives a nice flavor. So mushrooms and green chili are my secret ingredient in this particular.
Wow. Yeah, the green chili gives a little bit of spice to it and some earthiness to it. And the mushrooms too. The mushrooms give a little earthiness to the green chili. I'm assuming it was Hatch, right? Hatch green chili?
Oh, please. Yeah.
So Hatch has a real smoky, earthy kind of flavor, which is delicious. So
yeah.
Well, good. Now, did you photograph it did you post stuff on your Facebook page as you were making it?
I didn't post. The only person that got an image from that would have been my mother, because it's in an Italian house, that's a very okay, how are you doing this and how are you
get mom approved.
Yeah, it's gotta and that's actually where I get my photography from, is my mother. My mom was that mother that photographed everything, right? So
so she was the one running around with the camera taking pictures all the time. Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, excellent. Well, good. Glad you guys can make it. We have, Labor Day edition. Everybody's got a day off tomorrow, I guess. I'm going to take most of the day. I've always got stuff to do, so I'm going to work a little bit. But take most of the day off. I might get out with the camera. We'll see. What the weather's like. Maybe. Although it's so crazy downtown. They had Dragon Con and all that stuff this weekend. It was crazy here in Atlanta.
Dragon Con.
Yep. Big. They do it pretty much every year here. So I think there were like 30,000 people for that. Coming down. They had a big parade yesterday, I guess. And then today, I don't know if it goes tomorrow or not.
There's usually some panels on Monday, but not much. Most people are heading out on Monday.
People head out today, probably, yeah. And I thought about going down. I had so much stuff to do yesterday. It was so busy. That was a big weekend for Atlanta. As far as a lot of people go down and photograph the parade. So kind of a lot of good people photography opportunities. But now we all had Labor Day. Now Dennis probably doesn't. He's got every day Sunday for Dennis.
Yeah, but every day's Labor Day.
Yeah,
this is true.
Laborless Day.
Yeah.
How you doing, Dennis?
I'm fine. You look a bit hot, you guys.
Yeah, it's a little warm here. I don't know what do we got. We got about 90 degrees here, and I'm upstairs, and the air conditioner just kicked on, so it's not as cool up here as it usually is because I have it set to only kick on during the work week. During the weekend, most of the time it's not on. But yeah, it's warm here, and I'm sure Wes is nice and warm, and you guarantee that Pat and Joe are over 100 today. I'm sure.
Actually, I think it's like 99 today.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's nice.
Sweatshirt weather almost.
I've got 103 in my area.
Yeah.
Pat's wearing the sweatshirt. Joe's wearing the fur-lined tank top.
Yeah.
Well, good. So let's see. Anybody start off? Anybody buy any photographic equipment this week? I know people have been buying stuff. No. Dennis,
Yeah, well,
Telling Dennis or Wes to buy something if we had.
Yeah, I did buy the 4x5 holders. I've got those now.
Okay, good. So it did show up then, huh? Okay.
And I've also got a anti-static brush.
Oh, a little one. Is that for the
Yeah, for doing the slide, doing the film holders.
Oh, okay. For the film holders. Okay. So you're gonna brush those on the run that across the film holders before you put the film in?
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be better for me when I'm scanning them.
Okay.
Because as soon as you wipe the glass on the Epson, it seems to be a magnet. You know, any dust in the air just comes flying in. It's like charging up with the action of the cloth. Yeah.
No, that is a good thing. I've got a anti-static a brush that I use most of the time, but a guy when I was down at the studio had he was in the darkroom and he had one of those rocket blowers or whatever, but it had a negative ion generator attached to it.
Right, so
it was like negative ion rocket blower, which I thought was pretty cool. He says it works. He said it works pretty well. He was doing that, and he said it works. Yeah, he hadn't run into any real issues with it. It did seem to do a good job as far as getting rid of the keeping the dust off. So
yeah, the best things for attracting dust were the old television sets.
Yeah.
Charged up screen. When you wipe them with a cloth, it just reappears seconds after you move away.
Yeah. They definitely did attract the dust, but LED monitors don't do that anymore.
No, it's okay now.
So you got some film holders and an anti-static brush. Wes, any new equipment?
The only thing I got is a film picker.
A thing to grab the film out of the 35 millimeter.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I did it, I used the can opener, and then you're inside the dark bag with a film just going everywhere. So it's definitely rough.
No, I used a film picker for a few times, and I'm a can opener kind of guy, and it just and you open it up and you take it out and it just unspools.
Yeah.
The best thing to do, Wes, is not wind it back so far.
Yeah, I could do that, but some of the cameras I have are electronic and they just wind it back anyway.
Wind it straight home, yeah.
Yeah, you hit the button and it's going to wind all the way in. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had too much trouble. I've gotten in the habit of when I take off the top and I'll slide out the the spindle or whatever, and then I just kind of keep my hand around it, and that works. That works fairly well.
Yeah. Plus, with this way, I can start it on the reel outside the bag. Nice.
That's true. Yeah, that is advantage. 35 millimeter. The hardest film I found to put on the reel is 120. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
I haven't done that yet.
Got no sprocket.
Sure it's not. Yeah.
No
sprockets, and it's wide, and it wants to curl.
And it's just. I don't know. Some which one is FP4 is okay. Portra seems to be really tough. I don't know. It must be the flexibility of it or the spring that's kind of built into it. It's really tough. 35 millimeter is pretty easy because you got the sprocket hole. So that's good. And then sheet film, that's actually really easy.
Yeah. 4x5 is great. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, did you have a chance, or maybe you've already checked out that Nick Carver guy?
Talk about that.
Dave, was it Dave Carver?
Yeah. Nick, do you guys, either of you guys, any of you guys watch Nick Carver? YouTube. He's a photographer, primarily a film photographer, I guess. And he did a he's like on location type stuff. And Joe texted me saying he was watching this and he was really cool. It's about photographing a liquor store in Santa Barbara or something. It was kind of an old liquor store, and it kind of went through all the steps of setting up the camera and kind of scouting the shot ahead of time. And he uses a Shenhao 6x17, so panoramic camera. So it loads that in, and I watched that. I watched that this morning, actually, and then I started watching another one from him on Route 66. He was somewhere along Route 66 doing stuff, and he has the Mamiya. He shoots Polaroid. You know, all kinds of funny stuff. But the funny thing in the liquor store video, you know, he sets up. He wants to do it at night. Well, let me see if I can find it actually, because it's pretty funny. But he has so he's across the street. There's this little liquor store over there, and the sun's setting. He's kind of getting into, you know, post sunset, that twilight. And so he's trying to get everything done, and he's setting up the shot, and he's like, and you could see him talking, something coming off screen. He's like, "Oh, please don't stop, please don't stop." And here comes an 18-wheeler. And it stops like literally right in front of him.
Oh man.
So then you hear him go off camera, and he's like, "Hey, can you move your truck? I'll give you $20 to move your truck down the road. I'm trying to take a picture." That was
what I loved about that. What I loved about the way he showed that was it's so real. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's just, that's how it goes down when you're on location shooting somewhere. Everything that he shows, what I love is he showed his whole scouting process.
Yep. Yep.
And it's everything that I do, and it's everything I know Pat does. You know, when you're on you scout something and you check it out at different times, and then and then you just cross your fingers when it comes time for the time that you've actually set up for the shoot.
And the thing is, I mean, you just never know. And with a view camera, I mean, you spend all that time setting up and adjusting, and then, you know, he's hoping to get 1 or 2 shots, maybe. You know, so I'm gonna get to that point. And it was a cool liquor store too. I mean, you know,
it was cool that he showed like how his prime time passed him a little bit, but he still showed the shot and what he got, and then he tried the shot early in the morning as well, and not quite as good as that other shot.
I'm gonna share this because I'm at the point where the vehicle pulls up. It's just kind of funny, but it's interesting. So he's got his camera set up and he's trying to photograph it here.
I'm not feeling too confident.
You guys hear it?
Yeah.
Just because it's so freaking dark.
Yeah, that's a cool liquor store.
Yeah, we'll do F11 at 15 seconds.
So he's like, oh, don't. He's all ready to go.
No, do not park here. Do not park here. Do not park here. Do not park here.
Here comes Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
You've got to be. One exposure.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, one exposure.
Especially with something like this, because you've got such a limited time frame.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Let's go. Watch this. This is funny. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm sorry, Bobby. Can I pay you $20 to park somewhere else? I'll give you something, man. Let me buy you dinner or something. I'm just taking pictures of the building. I'm an artist. It's kind of fun stuff. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Come on, let me buy you dinner. Go ahead. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It's great. But yeah, he's all set up, and then right.
Yeah, it's exactly. Oh my God, that happens. So when you're on location trying to shoot something, I mean, that happens. You know.
Yeah.
Especially like, I mean, what I deal with a lot is like, you know, if I'm traveling, you know, I don't really know spots. They just kind of show me what, you know, they say like, here's a spot. Will this work? And a lot of times it's sort of like a kind of touristy spot because it's a beautiful view or whatever. So like, I know I went out to Santa Barbara to shoot a car and we were there and it was like at the beach and it was all kind of foggy and beautiful and got the car kind of positioned there. And then some woman pulls up in a car, like parking spot directly next to it, like inches away from this like 1950s Ferrari and just parks there to like, I don't know what. And just like, and clearly, like, I'm standing there right with my camera. The car's kind of parked at an angle and stuff. There's all these empty spots around and just bizarre. The funniest thing I had happen recently was I was out in kind of the LA area doing a photo shoot, and it was a 70s Aston Martin that was like in one of the Bond movies. I'm not sure which one. The actual car wasn't that model and like the color scheme and everything. So the guy is kind of a goofy guy, like a funny guy, but just entertaining. He wanted to pose with the car, so he actually like had a suit on and kind of like doing a Bond pose and stuff. And he borrowed from some friend of his a Walther PPK, the pistol.
Oh no!
Like an actual one, borrowed it from a friend, and then he had like a half-empty bottle of gin, and he put him like on the center console for a photo.
Oh no!
And I'm like, okay, we do this quick. And as we're doing this, a cop pulls up.
It's like, hey, what are you doing?
He's like kind of sneakily like, oh yeah, let's go. Just kind of slid the gun under the seat kind of thing.
Oh man!
I mean, obviously the gun wasn't loaded or anything, but it's not his gun. Yeah. I don't know if he has, a permit or whatever to possess a gun.
Yeah.
Plus a half-empty bottle of liquor and.
Yeah.
Like, oh
perfect.
God,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would have to sell the car to bail out.
Yeah. Really, it ain't mine. Yeah.
The cop just kind of pulled and like parked in the an area right near us, and then he was just like looking at his laptop or whatever, whatever they have to do, and didn't really bug us. But yeah, for a second there, it was kind of like, seriously, of all the people to pull up.
Exactly, it's some cop, and immediately you get stiff, and you're like, yeah, be cool, man, be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Hide the gun.
Yeah, you don't even want to fart. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, yeah, I don't want to attract any attention at all right now at this moment.
That was a first. It's the first time anyone's ever had a gun on a photo shoot that I've been on too. So.
That's funny. He was doing it was the whole Bond experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the car sold well. I think it went above the high estimate. It was just in the Monterey, that auction that the other weekend, so last weekend.
He wanted a photo of him dressed up as Bond with the car.
Yeah, he's like leaning against it, kind of doing the pose with like the gun in his hand and stuff. That was after the cop left. So
there's that link, Mark, to Pat's car, man, that sold. That's that link to that Forbes video.
Yeah, let's do that. Because
there's actually two of them on there. There's one from Petrolicious or something like that as well on that same Ferrari.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's watch this because this is pretty cool. This was the expensive car, very expensive car.
That's a
pinnacle car for Ferrari collectors.
So this is the guy that sold it.
Yeah, that's the. He was out there. He's the guy who drove his LaFerrari Aperta out there.
Okay.
And that guy's one of the guys I deal with pretty regularly with RM, that Ian. I realized that I photographed the most expensive car sold at Monterey in 2015, 16, and 18.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I bought her a
Close
car.
to $100 million.
I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be a really interesting event. There'll be a lot of people there.
And you said he paid $7 million for it when he bought it?
Yeah, I think it was 7 in like 2001 or something like that.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Yeah, so he did all right.
Sotheby's Monterey auction. It gives me great pleasure to introduce lot 247.
Ever have your image up on the wall on the screen of it?
Yeah, I think they are. I know at least most of them were. I think they actually shot it in a studio as well, or maybe they had, existing studio photos.
Yeah.
So I think they cycled a few of those, and I think they played the video.
Yeah.
They were shooting. Look at all those phones. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Like every single person had to get a picture.
Selling here in RM Studies, ladies and gentlemen, the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO, $44 million. Well done.
Huh. Wow.
Oh, miss it a little bit.
You won't miss the $38 million he got out of it, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the 44 is the hammer price. So then, the auction company made $4.4 million on that one car, which is crazy.
That's the business to be in, man.
Yeah.
That's like Trading Places
and a photo team.
Yeah, when they're explaining
yeah
what they do, and no matter if they buy or sell, we make money.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, it's a awesome vehicle, and yeah, he did pretty good. Bought it for $7 million, and he drove it, right? You said he
actually drove he tracked it regularly, like
okay.
I think multiple times a year at least, over all those years, and
that's nice.
like at publicly like stuff like Monterey and those kind of things, and he definitely has use out of it.
Okay,
and obviously it's not the only car he has, not the only vintage Ferrari race car he has, I'm sure. So
yeah. Well, that's cool though. I mean, that sounds like he actually enjoys the cars. He just doesn't.
Oh yeah,
they're not garage queens.
Oh, not at all. He's definitely a and like I said, even that LaFerrari, he drove that in that one day more than a lot of people probably drive theirs in a year.
Mm-hmm.
He drove it, I think it was 2.5 hours each way, or 3 hours or so.
So he put 400 miles on the car in one day. Yeah. Well, it's if I was, I don't know, if I had the means to buy a car like that, I would find one that I felt comfortable and wanted to drive instead of just park. That's what they're meant for. Those cars are meant for driving. So.
Well, I find it feels like it's about 50-50 from my experience of people that kind of buy them as investments and people that buy them and drive them and are like really into them. I mean, I deal with a lot of sort of like dealers or people that move a lot of cars. But of the people that are actually owners of the cars, I'd say most drive them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, what was I saw something that the typical, was it a Lamborghini or something like that? New ones get bought, they get driven like 300 miles a year, 200 or 300 miles a year, and that's it. Because once a car gets 8,000 or 10,000, a late model supercar, once it gets 5,000 to 8,000, 9,000 miles, it's not worth it anymore.
What's just crazy is that's you buy that car, it's depreciating immediately, so it's not like you're not driving it and you're losing money. So.
Yeah, which is just crazy because I guess maybe just because there's so many. Well, compared to other ones, there's so many of them out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say like your typical main, like a Aventador, like a Huracan or whatever. Like they produce so many of those relative to their limited stuff that's never going to be worth as much as it was when it's new. Like an Enzo or a LaFerrari are already worth more than they were new, because they're so limited, and they're only gonna. Well, I mean, they might take a hit. I think prices might drop a little bit soon, but they can continue to improve in value. Where like, an Aventador or something like that, especially like an early one or an early Gallardo, those are like relatively cheap now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they're never going to be worth more than they are now.
Yeah. So that's the thing. If you're gonna buy a car like that, buy it and drive it within reason. I mean, you don't want to put 50,000 miles a year on it, but take it out and drive it. So when I win the Powerball and I have a little extra money, I'll do that. But until then,
that's why you buy one that's like you said, like 4 or 5 years old, and then you're probably get it for half the price or less, and it's still basically a new car.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine who is he's a big Porsche guy, and he's like, and he buys his used, and he says, I was told by a guy, as I was looking, he has a 2013 Boxster or whatever, but he was talking to a guy about it. He's like, if you're buying used, he says if you find a car that's 3, 4, 5, 7 years old and it's got less than 10,000 miles, don't buy it. Because there's probably something wrong because it hasn't been driven.
Yeah, that's just it too. A lot of these cars aren't actually even broken in. Like some of the cars I'll shoot. Like I shot a Ford RS200 1986. It's like a street legal rally car, basically. Like super crazy hardcore car, very limited. And when I shot it, which was 2 or 3 years ago maybe, so it was about a 30-year-old car, and I think it had 600 miles on it.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it seriously had not been broken in yet over the course of 30 years. So unless they were driving it, a mile or whatever, driving around the block every week or whatever in that time, a lot of these cars actually need like all the hoses replaced, you know, a bunch of work done on them before you can actually even drive them.
Yeah, yeah. You're just dealing with dry rot, pretty much.
Yeah. Because if it's driven low miles, but it's driven regularly, it's not really a problem.
Yeah.
But you know, when that stuff, like all those fluids stop flowing and everything kind of settles, and you know, you get flat spots in tires and all kinds of crazy stuff. That.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, it's a different world. The people that can afford to buy and then buy and use and trade those cars. I would love to be in that world. I don't think I ever will be, but
yeah,
it'd be fun to be in that world.
That's a different. Yeah, they've got a whole set of different options, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They just just have more resources, and they just have more choices on how they allocate their resources. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen the new Nikon full frame mirrorless camera yet?
No, I heard that they're coming out with one, but I haven't seen it. Did they actually release something about it?
Yeah, I think Tim said to me today that it's on the market now.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought I saw pictures of it last week.
Let's see.
Yeah. The Canon one is being announced on Tuesday.
Yeah, because
the Canon one. Okay.
They were making a big deal about it, I think, last week because and there was quite a few posts about it, I think.
Okay. So they're Nikon and Canon are coming out because Sony's taking the
market. Yeah.
So it looks like they have the Z7 and the Z6, I guess, is the Nikon one.
Yep.
Let's see. And what do they sell for, I wonder?
2,000 and 3,600, I think.
Yeah. So the Z7 looks to be $3,396 on just for the body, $3,400 on Amazon. You can get it Prime, so you can get it. It'll be released on September 27th, pre-order. And then the Z6, $2,600. Yeah. And it says it's going to be released on November 18th, so it's not out for 2 months.
Yeah, that one's delayed.
So what's the difference between the 6 and the 7? Better focus.
24 megapixels and 42 megapixels.
Okay.
And other than that, I think they're pretty much the same.
It sounds like with a Sony chip.
And it's just so much money for these cameras, isn't it?
And does it use a Sony chip, Dennis?
I will. But when you say 24 and 42, that's the
might be
frames.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. So the new Sony, was it the whatever it is, Mark
A9?
9. Okay. So it runs for about $3,200, right? Is that right? 3,200.
It's really expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, so the Z7 says 4K Ultra HD video, 8K time lapse, slow motion, 493 point on sensor phase detection, up to 9 frames per second. Okay. Backside illuminated 45.7 megapixel. Backside illuminated sensor.
45, okay.
With no optical low pass filter. So, okay.
It's supposed to be the same sensor as the D850, I think.
Okay. And compatible with the new Z Nikkor lenses and over 360 f mount and a variety of system accessories. So that's going to be the big selling point there, is you buy the Canon or the Nikon, you're going to get the ability to use that whole family of lenses without any real issues. Although I would think the Z lenses are probably designed specifically for that camera. So I wonder if you run into any issues if you take like an old f-mount lens and put it on there.
The reviews I've seen say they work really well as far as the adapted Nikon lenses.
Wow. So $3,300. So that means this is coming out in September. So in September of 2020, I can get that for probably $1,895. $1,500 to $2,000 probably.
I don't know, man. These cameras don't seem to be. They just don't seem to go down in value too much, man. Even a couple years later, man. Right now they're asking $3,400 basically. But I would bet in a couple years they're still asking $3,000 for that camera.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think that's where it's moving. I think mirrorless it's close enough now. I think I don't know. What do you think? SLR is going to be gone in 5 years? I don't know.
Do you know how I mean, there's definitely advantages, like just not having mechanical things to fail. You know, I mean, I actually had, you know, a shutter on one of my early 60s fail. It just jammed. It was still under warranty, luckily, but, you know, not having that, and then just actually silent shooting is kind of a cool thing. Or those situations where you might, you know, that might be a good thing. I'd imagine like wedding photographers and that kind of stuff. That'd be really nice. But the one thing is, I don't know. Do you know how they compare in scale to like the Sonys, these new Nikons? Because that's the one thing I don't like a small camera, like in my hand.
As far as the body size, like how large it is. Yeah, I don't know.
think it's as small as an A7, but it's kind of in between, I would say.
Okay.
It's smaller than a DSLR, but it's not as small as an A7.
A7, okay. So it looks like they're selling the Z7 with the 24 to 70, the F4, 24 to 70.
Yeah.
For 39, yeah, for $4,000 basically. So, yeah. Already the Z50 millimeter 1.8 for, oh man, that's the new Z lens, 50 millimeter f1.8 for $45.93. So the lens itself is $1,200 for that their new Z mount, you know, special design lens. Wow.
Yeah, the lenses are pretty high.
Yeah. No, 48 for a 35 millimeter. Okay, so 35 millimeter 1/8 is basically $1,500 with an extra $1,500 with the body, and the 50 millimeter is $1,200 with the body. The 2470 is $1,200. So, geez, a lot of money for a camera.
For a camera and a lens, dear God. I mean, and that one's, I'm showing the 24 to 70 isn't available till November 30th. So if you ordered that configuration, it's not released till November 30th. So that's a Christmas time deal right there.
Yeah, you're hoping to have it in time for Christmas, pretty much. Yeah, man. Well, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, Nikon and Canon wouldn't do it unless they felt threatened with the with Sony. So that shows you, one, that Sony is putting pressure on them, and two, that they think that mirrorless is probably where things are headed.
Yeah, in order for Nikon and Canon to put any production into this but you look at that sensor detection autofocus system, 493 point on sensor phase.
Yeah.
At 9 frames a second, dude, that's insane processing right there.
Yeah. That's some serious processing.
I think a big thing with the mirrorless and actually the smaller bodies, physically, is for video too. Like I've noticed when I'm out doing the automotive stuff and they're doing video alongside of me, a lot of times they'll be using Sonys to shoot the video. And partially because they're so small, so if you throw it on like a gimbal or anything like that, some kind of mount, it's a little smaller, lighter, all that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Oddly though, I used to see, I don't know if it's so much the case anymore, but I used to often see the Sonys with adapters with Canon lenses. But I think that was probably a little bit before they had, so many options sitting now there.
Yeah, they've come out with some new lenses. They finally expanded their lens selection, right? Yeah.
I was talking about those Sony, the Nikon Z lenses. And those prices. Like I just think about those compared to like the Sigma Art series. Again, obviously I'm kind of biased towards those at this point, but like those are significantly higher than the Sigma Art prices. And I mean maybe they are on the same level, but like I don't know, that's kind of crazy. And I know that Sigma finally started doing the E mount for the Sony recently.
Yep.
So now it's like, and you have to use that adapter, and I don't know, like I think Wes said that, it sounds like the quality, you don't lose much with using an adapter for the standard lenses on these new cameras. But obviously, if you can always get away with not using adapter, that's a good thing.
It says, if I just do a search for the Nikon Z lenses by themselves, the 50mm 1.8 is $600. Will be released November 30th. The 24-70 f4 is $1,000, and that's released September 27th. And the 35mm 1.8 is $846. So those are the three lenses they have right now.
Yeah, so I mean, those are like slightly less than the Sigma Art 1.4 equivalents,
Yeah.
So,
well, you've got the you have the, is it 18 to 35, the Art lens, or is that you? How's that, Joe? Do you have that, Joe?
I have that one.
Okay. Good. So it's what? Is it an f4 or is it an f2?
It's an f1.8.
1.8. Okay, so this one, their 24 to 70 is f4. So not quite as fast. Yeah, kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see. It just shows that they're feeling a little threatened by the by the mirrorless.
I think these mirrorless too are more focused on the video, like Pat said. But I would be extremely curious to see how that autofocus system works, because that's insane.
Yeah.
To have a 400. I mean, I have a hard time with my autofocus system now, and it's got a lot of options to me. How many options are you going to have on something that has 493 points, man? I mean, that is just.
That's why you need the 60, Joe. I have like 9. I honestly keep it on the middle point like 95% of the time, and that's it. And just focus and adjust, because I don't trust the other points on it. They're a lot slower. The middle one's so much better. It's kind of crazy. And I guess that was one of the big advantages of the 62, but I don't know. It just wasn't worth it for me. A little bit better autofocus for what I do, but sometimes it is kind of shitty how limited the autofocus is on this camera.
Yeah. Well, your camera's what, 2 years old at this point, right, Pat?
The 60, yeah, I think I got it. I mean, it was used when I bought it.
Okay.
Because I had that. My last one, was thrown into a pool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've had the 60 now for probably, what is it, like 4 years, something like that. 3 years, 4 years total.
5-year-old camera.
This is my third one, because like I said, the first one, the shutter died on it, and I sent it back. I think they actually just replaced it, and it's the same body. I'm not totally sure, because it was like perfect condition. Because I bought that one new.
Okay.
And then that one got thrown in the pool and died, which I still have it. And I turned it on like a month ago, and it powered up like it had never done, and I thought it was going to work, and it just didn't. So I was excited for about 30 seconds, because I was like, oh man, it'd be awesome to have two bodies to be able to switch between.
Yeah.
And not like lose any kind of quality, or not have to be concerned about different controls. So I used to have that SL1 as my second body and kind of my backup, and that was stolen. So since then, I've only had this single body. But ideally, like especially if I'm at an event, to have something like the 135 and then like the 50 or the 20 on the other body, where I can just instantly switch between the two.
Yeah, without having to take the time to actually switch lenses, you just grab one.
Yeah, because I'm like firmly in the primes only mode personally.
Okay. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just love them. So.
Yeah. Well, it's
kind of the ultimate quality at the sacrifice of some usability, I guess.
Yeah, and you learn, and you know what it is, so you shoot with it all the time, so you get very, very good at utilizing that particular focal length. So you don't have to.
Well, that's like the 16 to 35. I bet I use that at either 16 or 35, like 90% of the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Because either I was trying to do like a really wide interior shot, or like a rolling shot, or I would try to, do something in between. And that's the problem, is the 35 wasn't quite long enough for a lot of stuff I wanted to do. So that's why, like I said, I'm going to go to, I think, 20, 50 on 35.
So the Canon one comes out this week, Wes? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think that's on Tuesday as the official announcement.
And it's going to be what's their model number on that?
I forget what it's called now. It's like the EOS. Oh, jeez.
I don't know what it is.
S, I think, or something.
Let's see.
Well, they already have A and Z taken, so you got to find.
Yeah, you got to find somewhere in the middle.
You can't go above or just below to.
Let's see.
They just make it like some
Canon
like a J, some letter no one
EOS
cares.
R. That's what it's called.
Which one? Oh, EOS R?
Yes.
Which is kind of weird because they have the 5DR already.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. I'm sure it'll be in that same range as the as an Nikon. Our photo, oh yeah, it's the EOS R photo petapixel has photos and specs leak. And does it have price leak? I don't know.
No, I don't think the price has leaked yet.
Yeah.
A 30 megapixel full frame. 4K video. Articulating screen. Okay.
Hey, Joe, guess how many autofocus points the EOS R is going to have?
I have no idea. I would hate to even guess.
5,655.
Oh my god!
No, seriously? 5,000?
That's what these specs say. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, the Canon Rumors is going to be the place to check that out, and
they're
usually pretty good.
5,000?
Yeah, it's showing. Yeah, he's right. They're showing.
So.
Yeah, you've got 14-bit RAW files, so 14-bit, which is, and you've got 5,655 maximum. So you're going to have to, I would imagine you're going to have to do something to scale up to that, I would think. Yeah. Like you're probably going to have some sort of maximum and then do whatever you got to do to get up to that 5,600.
I don't think that's enough. And are they all gonna be cross too? I wonder. You know, they're all gonna, or will they all be at the fastest speed, or are they gonna be?
It's probably all just using that dual pixel autofocus. Yeah. Like it's just all that all over the sensor.
And the ISO sensitivity down to 40,000.
Huh.
So you've got your base sensitivity is from 100 to 40,000, and you could extend that to 102,400.
Wow.
So you can go from 50. So now you can finally go from ISO 50 to 102,000 ISO.
102,400. Yeah. 1 to 8,000th shutter, 4K 30 frames. 660 grams, including battery. Huh. That'd be interesting. Now I wonder, do they make their own? That sounds like that's not a Sony chip. 30 megapixel. I wonder.
It's probably their own chip.
Yeah.
I think it's the same one that's in the 5D Mark IV.
Okay.
Like or very similar anyway, based on that one.
Okay. Dual pixel RAW. Huh. And price, we don't know yet, but probably somewhere in that range, $3,000, something like that, I would think.
Yeah, I would guess probably 3,000.
Wow, here we go. So who's going to get it first among us? Not me. Dennis will get one. Dennis, get one. I think you need to do it since you have the Sony. You can get one and then do a test.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Mark, as you're the host, if you buy the Sony A9, the Nikon, and the Canon, by this time next week, you can give us all a valued opinion.
Okay. I'll be living in the back of my car, too. These cameras work great from the hatchback. That's great. Yeah. They're kind of hard to sleep on. They don't make good pillows, but they take great photos. Oh, man. So if you were to buy the 3 bodies, that's basically $10,000 in bodies right there. And then if you buy compatible lenses, yeah, I mean you're 20 grand in. You know, by the time you buy a couple lenses each.
How do these two cameras compare with the Sony A9? Because that has some fantastic specs on it.
Nobody knows yet because they're not out.
What, the A9?
Well, no, the Nikon and the Canons aren't out yet. So
yeah, I know, but they're given the specifications, but the specs on the A9, I didn't really go into it too much because it's just so much money. I wouldn't consider buying it anyway.
Yeah. Soon enough there's going to be comparison. You know, people will do like a 3-way shootout or something like that. Well, they'll do all three side by side. So,
yeah. Well, if you just ring them up, Mark, and say, you know, you do this show, if they'd like to send the cameras to you for evaluation.
And they say, how many views do you get? Well, I get like 100 views a show. I mean, you know.
It's a worldwide camera show.
That's right. It goes worldwide. Yeah.
Yep. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll look for somebody else to do that. That would be, but I'm sure somebody will. Somebody will have, they'll do all three cameras side by side, probably by the end of September. Somebody will probably do it. I'm sure. You know, get a bunch of views as a result. So, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see what the actual reviews are once they get in the hands of the noted or the reviewers that everybody goes to on YouTube, I guess.
Well, as you know, photographers suffer from the gear acquisition syndrome, so there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be a lot. Yep. There definitely will be a lot. You know, but the good thing is I know that my large format camera has infinite focus points.
Yes.
I can focus anywhere I want in that frame. I don't need no stinking sensor.
Yeah, the batteries never die.
The batteries never die, and I have infinite focus points. But that's cool. That's kind of interesting that Canon and Nikon are coming out with a mirrorless finally, which means that the technology is accepted enough for them to make the investment in putting together their own system around it. So that bodes well for mirrorless, I think, overall. Pretty soon we'll all be using mirrorless. Nobody will have SLRs anymore. Within 10 years, I bet there won't be SLRs. They'll all be mirrorless.
Yeah, you're probably right because you don't need a mirror clacking up and down.
Yeah,
vibrating the camera.
And it's all been a matter of processing power up to this point, and they've gotten it and it's obviously there now. So, and it's only going to increase. So they get better processing power.
I actually took the mirror out of my large format camera.
You did?
Yeah.
I ordered mine without it, and I saved some money.
Yeah. Comes with an optional extra, Mark.
That's right. How's the lasagna coming, Joe? Is it dinner time yet?
I waited 20 minutes. And it's still a little too warm, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But
it hasn't totally settled.
So it hasn't quite, but oh my God, the minute I cut into it, you could just smell the green chili.
Oh boy. Okay, we got to hurry up and get through these photos so I can eat dinner now. I gotta go.
It's yeah, it's quite the amazing. Let me tell you.
Good, and you're gonna have leftovers, and that's the kind of thing that only gets better sitting in the fridge. I mean,
yeah,
a couple days later, it's gonna be even better. So
the plan is, sorry, I'll have some now, and then I'll pretty much just freeze the rest and then have it. That's pretty much what I do with all my big cooking.
Cut it up into smaller portions and freeze it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Well, let's speaking of freezing, let's check out some images of people freezing life through photography.
Exactly.
There we go. That's a good transition. Woohoo! Oh man, I'm getting hungry now, Joe. All right, so this was the last one last week. That funky Mercedes, $4.5 million. There we go. Yeah, I think this was. Yeah, I think Jose just posted that this week. That's cool. Having fun with his macro lens.
Yeah.
90 millimeter macro.
Attempted, or I've never used a macro lens.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week. I was like, I've threatened to get one, and I guess it would just be, there's so much to you just have to basically look down. There's stuff to photograph all over the place. It's just small, and the macro lens allows you to do it. So,
I'll take it as a one-to-one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I think this is probably a true macro. I mean, you can get one for the Canon is, well, you have one, don't you, Wes? Don't you have a macro lens?
No, I just have extension tubes.
Okay. Okay.
Man.
So, but yeah, you can get, I think Canon does is it 100 millimeter, or maybe it's a 90 millimeter macro, and it's new as
maybe they have a couple different ones.
Like that, right?
I think it's more like 600.
Okay. All right.
I know a friend of mine has the 100 millimeter macro, and it was like 600.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This is a 90 millimeter, but yeah, a true one-to-one. You get some interesting images. That's pretty cool. If they just stay still long enough.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What's this guy doing?
So this was Milford, Connecticut. The only thing I can tell you is that it was a very peaceful evening along the Weepawag River. Down in the, that's cool. That's a nice shot. And I don't see any. There's some cars there, but not too many people. So that's good.
Yeah, he just does a fantastic
F11,
job.
1.3 seconds. 50.
It's one thing when I do eventually get that Sigma 20 millimeter, I actually do want to get out and do something other than car photography.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even actually know the last time I took a picture that wasn't a car. Well, or like my kids or something.
Yeah. No, that's a great focal length for this kind of stuff. Like urban landscapes and any landscape, really. Yeah. When he's Simmy's got the landscape photography thing down. He's manages to get a few good shots every once in a while. So here he is again.
This one being the exception.
Yeah.
Terrible.
There we go. F11. Oh, what's this? 792 seconds? No, that can't be right.
Wow.
What he did was he clicked the frame and then went and made a lasagna and then came back and
that's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Almost 15 minutes. Yeah.
12 minutes. Yeah, 12, 10 would be 600. So 13 minutes. Yeah, 13 minutes. Nah, I don't believe that.
Maybe you need
No, did he use so I could get another exposure to the clouds after a mostly gray day? This was a great moment. 2 exposures blended, one for the clouds, the other a 13-minute long shot. So he did 2. So he shot the clouds, and then he did a 13-minute. What? A 13-minute? Wow.
I wonder what's he getting? What did he get out of that? You know what I'm saying? Because
he said he did. Didn't last enough. Just finished in time so I can get another exposure of the clouds as they were with the vibrant color after mostly gray. So it looks like he did one for the clouds. So that wasn't as long as an exposure. That was a normal exposure, maybe. Maybe a minute or something like that. And this was a 13-minute one for the rest of the scene.
Which is pretty crazy because there's just the slightest amount of blur in the grass. Like,
it must have been a really still night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 13 minutes. That's funny.
Yeah, 13 minutes. He could have had a lot of that grass disappear.
What was the reciprocity? If you got a 13-minute exposure on film, that would be like a 42-minute exposure on film for the reciprocity. Well, that's cool.
And he says he did noise reduction, so it was another 13 minutes after he took the shot. He had to wait for the noise reduction.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, he went off. There was like a restaurant behind him. He went and ordered a dinner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He made his own lasagna. Yeah.
Well, it's a great result, but man, that's pretty serious time. Jeez.
I mean, I like the way he plays around with it. He's just not afraid to play around with that.
Yeah. But look at the water, the water coming in over this rock here. Just it's really cool. Yeah, that's cool. Be able to do that. There's taken the Civil War Days annual reenactment of the Civil War, taken September 1st, so just yesterday. The 85 millimeter. Yeah, he's got the full complement of Sony lenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice shot though. Huh. There we go. You made it out to the Transport Museum on a clear day. Look at that.
Yeah, that was actually today.
Okay. Oh yeah, September 2nd. Yeah, look at that blue sky, no clouds.
Yeah, it's been quite
Arizona or something.
Quite nice here today.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, I took that one with the Voigtlander, the super wide one, the 15 mil.
Okay. All right. 2000th of a second, ISO 400. Wow.
Yeah, the museum itself wasn't much good for taking the buses because they're all just stacked right next to each other.
Okay. Yeah. There's no room in between them.
Yeah, you can only do front shot. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So do they rotate? Looks like this one's outside. Do they switch them out? Which one's outside? Do they move them?
Well, no, this one was actually being used. They were driving people around.
Okay.
The districts and it was all free. So
yeah, the British.
Yeah, I put this one on Mark, and this was taken with the 15 mil Voigtlander.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the next one was taken with the Voigtlander Lancia, the new 65.
Mm-hmm.
That's the actual shape of the bus.
Huh.
Yeah. Now the 15 mil, because I filled the frame, it just bends the bus. Look.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Yep.
Yeah.
much more distorted. Yeah, the back is like way back there.
Yeah. I think the photographer wasn't holding the camera absolutely square.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is an older bus. How old is this? Looks like something maybe from the 60s, 50s or 60s.
Probably, yeah. Maybe go back a bit further than that.
Okay. Well, it's in good shape.
Oh, yeah. They've got some nice buses there. But
neat. Yeah, that's an interesting comparison between the
two lenses.
Yeah. And you were probably just a few feet away from the front of this.
I was actually standing basically by the grill.
Yeah. And this one, you were back a little bit. I'm sure.
Yeah, this is 65 mil, the Voigtlander.
Yes, yeah. That's neat. That's a neat.
Yeah, and that was wide open, I think, Mark. F2.
Yeah, F2. Yep. 2500.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. Oh yeah. That's sharp. Very nice. Okay, so here we got green. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, the buses are just like barely enough room for people to walk between them.
Yeah, yeah. Stacks of them in there. Some going back a long way.
Yeah, this looks like an even older one than that. Huh?
Yeah. That number plate is before 1963.
Okay.
In this country, they started putting letters on the where the numbers are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, that's cool. That's a neat.
So that I'm just noticing that plate actually does look pretty similar to that Ferrari plate that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's an English plate. Yeah. So that's why I was. Huh. Your Ferrari was 1962, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. There's no letter behind the number. It would have been 4478A, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next year it went to B.
And that, okay.
Yeah, and then when they got to the end of the alphabet, they stuck the letter on the other end.
I was curious because that's like, I know that.
So this is prior 19.
In Germany, the letters are related to, where it's from.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I was wondering, like relative to like what city or.
Okay. Yeah, that's in Colorado. It was the same way that maybe it's different now, but it used to be each county would have a 3-letter code basically, so you know where generally where the car was registered based on the 3 letters. So that's cool. Neat one. Here we go. This is Dennis's first bike.
Yeah, this is right. Around.
That's cool. Got a little drum brake inside.
Yeah, that must go back quite a way. But as you can see, it's stacked with buses.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got 3 buses. Yeah, 2 or 3 feet apart between them. Yeah. And this was shot with a super wide. You can tell by the look at the wheel there. It's kind of an oval.
There's no way I could have used a 65 mil there.
Yeah, yeah. This wheel's pretty round, but this one, man, looks like an egg.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when you get to the outside of the lens, it really starts bending things.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there'd be no way you'd be able to get it with anything else other than a super wide lens.
Yeah, if I stood where I was and took a picture of that bike, you'd probably get one wheel with the 65 mil.
Yep. Oh, very cool. So this is your fiber optic light from the 60s, Dennis?
Yep. And it's inverted.
Oh, okay. So you're looking up from the bottom?
Yeah, I'm straight down the top.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it gave a good effect.
Yeah. I'm sure when you get this light out, you have to play like Pink Floyd or Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was probably status quo what was on.
I love the way some of these made into little hearts on them, and you've got different colors in there. Different.
Neat. The center. And this was with which lens, Dennis?
Yeah, this was the 65 mil.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man. I would just play with the shadows, and I would play with the blacks on this, and just completely like fade this out. Man, this is cool wallpaper.
Yeah, right. This could be a really interesting abstract shot.
We was thinking like blow up a real good wall size. It'd be a nice abstract.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you could.
Be a great stock photo too. You could sell this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would put that on the wall.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, get that blow up to like a 20 by 30 or something. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a flower, but it's that's very cool. You play around with the colors. Maybe whatever this little section is. I don't know if you leave that or what do you think? Clone that out or leave it in there?
I'd leave all that stuff in there. I would, like I said, for me personally, the way I would edit it, like I said, I already told you what I'd do. I mean, I'd play with the blacks. I would play with my shadows. I'd be completely fading this thing out, man.
Yeah. See what you get up, what it ends up looking like.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And especially with the size that he put it in, the size, that's perfect right there for your phone. I mean, that's a perfect background for your phone.
It's a good screen dump.
Yeah. It's perfect, man.
An iPad or phone or something like that. Yeah. No, that's a cool shot. I like that. That is the okay. Oh, there you go. Is this more from that first roll you developed or the next?
This is some old stuff. I finally took the time to sort of set up and use the light table.
Okay.
And the extension tube and everything to shoot it with the camera instead of trying to use a scanner.
Okay. Well, it came out pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely better than my scanners can do. As far as quality, so.
Yep. Cool. 3, 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about to do the 4x5. I don't know. I have to think about that.
You don't even need a macro lens for that. Just shoot it regular.
Yeah, I could actually. Yeah, I could position it right above it. Get the light table, position it right above it. I might try that. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Even with the Olympus, is it a 20. What would that give me? It would be enough, I would guess. Yeah. I wouldn't even need a macro lens for that.
I was surprised, Mark, using the 150 as a macro lens. You got a big enough bellows on your camera.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this is another one, man. I'm telling you, I would completely. I think we all, well, except for Pat, I think we all use Lightroom, and I would just dehaze this to death, and then I would put some blues in there in my tinting. I'd play around with my tinting. I'd put some blues. I'd put some different yellows or oranges in there, give it a certain kind of effect, and then like you could put this in a great, like in your hallway. You could put it in your bathroom, depending on what colors you have. Yep. Just work with your tints and your shadows and that sort of thing. And oh man, this is great.
Yeah,
this is great stuff we got here today, man. This is, man, I'm telling you.
Very good. Oh, okay. So here we are on the campus. Oh, the rings sculpture. Once again, scanned. That came out pretty good.
Yeah.
You developed the film, Wes?
I didn't develop this. This is something I had developed last year.
All right.
I did 2 rolls yesterday, and it was a failure.
Oh, really?
What happened?
The first one, it was just a mystery roll that I got out of a camera that I got in a thrift shop, and there was nothing on there.
Okay.
And the second roll, it came out. The whole film is like completely dark. It's like really dark. I don't know if it's just old or what.
What kind of film? What was it? What was the film?
It was a Fuji Superia 400, my normal stuff, but it was like an older roll, I guess.
Huh.
It's like really wants to curl up a lot. And like when I did the initial rinse, normally when you do your rinse, well, I don't know, you haven't done color before, but when you do the initial rinse, you pour out the water, it's pink.
Yep.
And this time it wasn't pink. It came out almost clear on the first rinse. So
yeah, but some film.
And it had that black, like that ramjet or whatever they call it on the back of it. Yeah.
No, it was just dark in general.
Huh. So I wonder if it got compromised somehow, light exposed or temperature or something, or just a bad roll of film. I mean, I guess that just happens.
Yeah. I don't know.
Some of the films, Wes, when you wash them and you give it a wash and tip it out, there's hardly any color in the water. It depends on the make of film. I think Hector comes out like green soup after you washed it, but I think the Portra doesn't.
Because the ones I'd done before came out pink, and then this just came out like clear water.
Oh, cool! There we go. There's an old sign. I love old signs. This is cool. So the hotel's gone, but the sign is still there, huh?
Yeah, they're trying to find somebody who's willing to take the sign before they just scrap it.
A neon sign. Well, I think you should get it, Wes. That would fit right like in the back wall. You could just like the records and CDs and the games in the back wall there, and I think you just put it right there behind you.
It would be pretty cool to have, but
yeah.
I don't know that I want to stay at a hotel that advertises poo, but
poo.
Yeah, they have air conditioned poo.
Yeah.
But it's electric. I mean,
like air conditioned electric poo.
Yeah,
that is luxury.
That is luxury, man.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool sign. Does the sign still work at all? Probably.
I think most of the tubes are gone. There's a few left.
Yeah, you're gonna need you need someone to rehab the neon tube.
Which that stuff is, actually, from what I've heard, that is a very cool sign. Though I mean, it's a cool sign without fixing it too. I'm just leaving it the way it is.
The only thing I would want from this is the only thing I'd want from this is exactly what you have, an image. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'd put a story underneath this, and I'd say this hotel's famous for its murders before they actually demolished it.
Yeah. Somebody will buy it, and it'll be somebody that's into neon signs or whatever, and then they'll find an old color image with the sign working, and then they can rehab the neon to match what it was.
The American pickers to come by and get it.
Yeah, it's you know my comment on it. This is begging to be black and white, and it just begging to you. Oh, I mean, and there's so much there. You've got all the paint peeling off of the blues there.
Yeah.
You've got oranges coming through the motel part of the sign there. Yeah. You've got parts missing. You've got so many different textures in that sign. Yeah. And actually, to me, this is one of those images where the overcast sky, so you just basically have a white sky kind of. It's just, and that kind of works with this.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, and the different dents and stuff in the state part of the Florida, I mean, all that's comes out with that black and white. It's just you got the brick.
See what you get out of that one, Wes. I bet
it's kind of interesting to me because like I hear what you're saying, but I actually think like the colors are the best part. Like the muted blues and reds and yellow, I think are kind of like the best part of it, and the contrast between them.
I think the sky is actually perfect for this because if it was a blue sky, then this wouldn't. The blue wouldn't stand out.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah,
I do agree that black and white kind of brings out texture and that kind of stuff, but I think the colors in this particular shot are really nice.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a neat sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. Great blue heron. Taken with your 20 millimeter. No, wait, 600. Okay.
Yeah, if that was a 20 mil, man, wow. You're the man. You're the bird whisperer, my friend. Yeah.
That's nice. That's a great background for that. The green background just really doesn't interfere at all with the colors of the heron. You got the yellow and the wow, look at that. That's pretty sharp. You got the eye is in focus. That's nice. Yeah, that's a nice shot.
That is. That's pretty good. Yeah, because you got that at 6'3", at 1/250th.
A nice spot in the frame too.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows it's better on this side than on this side. I think this kind of shows.
Right.
Yeah, going somewhere.
Flying into the frame, not flying out of the frame.
Yeah. And you got nice, nice and sharp and nice blur on the background. Yeah, that's a very nice one. That could go on a calendar. That's a calendar shot there, Wes. You could do that. That would be very nice. Yeah, that's cool. Here's a calendar shot too. Let's see. Really?
Like Pat said, Pat said that, and I started thinking, and I'm like, yeah, all I do is shoot people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, you'd love to mix it up every once in a while, so you don't just have
And I actually think that all that, like, I think if like you or I were to get out and like do street photography or something, or like landscapes or whatever, I think it would help the portrait and the automotive for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, those times when I work with you, I'm thinking about basically taking portraits of the car. That's the way I look at it, And so when I do shoot another person after shooting cars with Pat, for instance, it just gives me a different angle on looking at things, a different way of looking at things. It's really interesting. Yeah,
no, this is a great shot, Joe. I like this.
Thanks.
This kind of looks like a mountain range. You're almost there, Joe.
Almost there, right? Yes. Yeah. Some of those peaks on the mountain, man. They're yeah. Yeah, this is it's funny too because I didn't really intend on shooting people. I started out and I just wanted to shoot cars and motorcycles. That's what I wanted to shoot, And then you end up shooting people, portraits. Of course, you guys have seen my work evolve over time. And then now moving to Phoenix, I am strictly in this like art nude world, and I can hardly do anything that's not art nude nowadays. And so even Charlie, who's a Playboy model and does those sorts of, that's what she does, So this type of work for her, an artsy nude sort of thing, is very different for her. So she was thrilled with this work right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very, very nice. Good stuff. Yeah, good images, guys. That is fantastic. Good stuff. We went from multi-million-dollar Ferraris to overpriced mirrorless cameras and finished up.
Mountain ranges, right?
Yeah, mountain ranges, landscapes and mountain ranges.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's good stuff, guys. Good. Anybody doing anything for the extra day tomorrow? Going out and doing anything?
See how the weather is.
Yeah, I've got the day wide open. I'll probably buy some more furniture, which for me is photography related. It's photography related equipment. As you can see, I shoot on my furniture. So in my case, it's a tax write-off. You know what I'm saying? And which is a huge benefit to being able to shoot in your home. I'm having one of the beers that I got in Atlanta there.
Okay, yeah. Good stripe. Yep. That's a good one.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I'll be doing tomorrow, is probably buying some more furniture.
Okay. Yeah, there's furniture sales on Labor Day. That's one of the
now, Joe, I can remember the day when you didn't have any furniture because you was buying photography equipment.
Yeah, it's always a choice, right? Like, it's like, okay, do I want to actually have something to sit on? Or do I, you know what I'm saying? Or do I want to shoot? And so it was like, I think I'll shoot. Screw sitting on something, you know? Yeah, what do I need? I've got a bed. And that's about,
in a refrigerator, and an oven. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you need, right? Yeah. So, this whole furniture thing, what are you going to do? You know? Yeah. So that's, yeah. But now I actually do have some furniture, and I am thankful.
That's all a process. Just go through and,
Yeah. So I've got more strobes and slowly I'll be adding in more C stands. That's, so you always need stands. For all this gear, right? For all your lighting and all your what do you call it? The light attachments there, the modifiers, and it's just always. I mean,
there's always something good.
They come out with new cameras, but I don't need a new camera right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I've got 3 cameras right now and multiple lenses, and
Yep.
So that part's good. It's
good.
Just.
Well, you guys have a good day tomorrow. I think I'm gonna probably work a little bit. I might get out with the camera. Things go well, or not, which has been the case more often than not. But I think I am gonna order that. I'm gonna order that light, that little light table thing you had, Wes. That little 8x10 sized one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got it. I've got it saved in my cart. I think I'm gonna go ahead and order that, and try to shoot some of the 4x5 and see how that compares to a scan. It'd be interesting to see.
Hey, what do you guys think? Real quick, I'd love to get your opinions on it, because to me it feels like that whole photography boom from a couple years ago is kind of fading out, and I just see more people just photographing a lot of stuff, but just using their phones. Like, I don't see people carrying a second item, which would be a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As much.
Yeah.
Less, yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
Well, it's because the phones and the the cameras in the phones are getting so much better now. I mean, they're still not a true camera. I mean, that's the way we think of cameras, but they're good enough. For 95% of people, they just want a good, recognizable image that's easy to take, and people are finding that their phones are as good as a basic point and shoot.
Yeah.
So the only people you just see carrying around multiple cameras are the photographers.
I feel like people are getting, at least in my world, maybe Pat can shed some light on this as well, but I feel like people are getting more educated about photography, so they're, to me, more willing to spend money on photography, because they're fine with taking their pictures on their phone. they know they're not going to buy this expensive gear like we just showed on here. These mirrorless cameras are not cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and so to know someone like myself or like Pat or like Dennis or yourself, Mark, like it's, you know, oh, can you take some pictures of me or for me, or I'll buy those images. I feel like there's more of that happening, and the people that are still shooters and the people that are video shooters, like that, you know, if it was feeling for a while like us still shooters were going to have to go to the video side. And it feels like now there's this, yeah, I need some still photography for this. I need some videography for this. Like, it seems like we're coexisting right now. Like there's, like, things are leveling out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of tough because I do feel like it's hard to be great at both.
Yeah.
And I believe you cannot do both at the same time. So like, you could shoot a video one day, like with the car stuff, for example. You could shoot a video one day and shoot photos, the next day or whatever. But to do both at the same time, like one person or one team doing that, I think is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like when we did that GTO, you know, there was a full team there. There was, I think, probably 6 people shooting the video. So there was like 2 guys who were doing a drone, you know, kind of a director, a few other people, you know, they're assisting with that. And then so like I was working alongside him doing the stills. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think that, and I actually do want to get more into video myself. Like that's something I'm moving towards because people will ask if I can do it, and I would like to, but it's a whole nother thing. I mean,
yeah, it's a whole mindset, you know.
And I think that, and I was actually, it was kind of interesting because as I was doing that GTO shoot, like they were almost following my lead, the video guys. Like with the glamour shots of the car parked, you know, showing just moving around it, they were kind of relying on me to position the car and to like choose where in the track to put it and that kind of stuff. Which I just kind of found interesting because to me, it's like, I feel like if I were doing the video, I would want to choose that, you know, because I would want total control. But it's almost like they were like, well, let's see. And I positioned it and they were kind of like, wow, you know, that's an awesome spot. You know, we might not have noticed that kind of thing. So,
you know what, Pat? I kind of compare us to right now. What's coming to mind is to cooking. Like to, you know, there's not many chefs that can do baking and cook. You know what I'm saying? And standard like make a lasagna, like I just did. There's an either or situation, right? You get some chefs that can do both. They lean heavily towards one side or the other, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of cooks that can cook, you know, a steak or a regular dinner will lean heavily on the baker because the bakers are so detail oriented. So how do you need your part of the kitchen? I could kind of work around this, and we're more like the bakers. Still photographers, you're just looking at one image. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much concentration on that one image, and it just takes a different focus. So I can see that because with video, it's kind of like with cooking, you can kind of fudge it a little bit. You can kind of, there's a little more, you're not focusing on just one image, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You get the whole, yeah, that's a good analogy. I think that's true. Because yeah, cooks and chefs and bakers are completely different, you know? It's, and that is probably, yeah, I would say still photographers. Yeah, I mean, you've much more focused on that one particular image, where maybe video is like the whole thing plus everything around it. Yeah,
right.
One thing I will say is that I've had people, like even on that GTO photo shoot, there was one of the guys that was like an intern with the production company that was like, said he wanted to get more into still photography. So he's kind of like, do you mind if I kind of follow you around and watch what you do? And I've had other people ask to go on photo shoots with me and that kind of stuff. And I always tell them, like, sure, you can, but you're going to be seriously unimpressed with what I'm doing. Because, like, I am so extreme. Me in particular, I don't know compared to other people, but, like, I couldn't be more casual on a photo shoot. Like, in this part of positioning cars and stuff, I think they think it's going to be something where I'm like, oh, you know, okay, you know, more quarter-inch forward, and really I'm like, it looks pretty good. And like, I don't use reflectors or lights or.
You know, there's no like magic. It's the same thing with myself. Like I've had people, you know, either that I had to have there for a particular moment, let's say a makeup artist or something, or someone that had to be there, and they're just, I'm like, be prepared to be extremely bored. They think it's going to be this amazing thing because they're going to have this nude model in front of them, and it's going to be this, you know, it's fun. It's like watching baseball, perhaps, right? Like the people that are having the most fun are the pitcher and the catcher, you know, and maybe the batter. Like, you know, the outfielders are walking around and they're just kind of chewing gum and blowing bubbles. You know what I'm saying? There's like very little action for everybody else. You know, it's you know, being on a photo shoot could be, you know, the driest thing ever for anybody that's just watching.
Yeah, if you're just watching it, it's not.
I also feel like these people think they're gonna like watch me and learn something, and I'm like, I don't think you're going to. Maybe.
Well, in all fairness, the only people like myself, when I'm with Pat, I learn a lot because I'm also a photographer. So, you know, like in that perspective, sure. But if you're wanting to get in photography, you possibly will catch something. But if you're just, you know, watching it, it's like, you know, and I've had people that were there for a shoot and then they have an opportunity to be there for another one and they're like, oh, you know what, I'm good, man. I think I'll, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not what you think, you know?
Well, I guess maybe that's true that, you know, like you said, maybe it's that like, to me, it's so routine that like, I don't notice what I'm doing or anything like that, because like kind of a side note, something that's interesting I've been doing this week is I'm terrible with organization of all my photos. I have like 2 hard drives in my laptop and I have 3 externals, and they're all kind of just randomly placed images. So this week I've been going through and actually archiving like and labeling every single photo shoot I've ever done, at least the exported images. And like I'm up to currently about 550 individual photo shoots, and I know I'm missing some. So like, I guess to me, you know, just kind of going through the motions to an extent, like obviously I care and I try, but I, you know, maybe there are things that I'm doing that I don't even think about that, you know, other people wouldn't. I'm not sure, but
yeah. Oh, there probably are, but it's probably if a person who is serious about photography, it's not like you're giving, well, here's my secret, you know, there is no secret. And that's how you do it. But what I find looking at other photographers whose work I admire, it's just the way they go about doing it. So you can get some ideas, you know, like how they see things versus how I see things. And it's not like, well, here's the one magic spot. No, it's just they see things a little, they perceive what's going on or the scene differently than I would. Yeah. You know, they look at it.
And I think part of my whole like approach to photo shoots is I try to like make it as casual as possible for like, you know, the consignor, whoever's there. Like I've actually heard where other people that say, you know, you're so much easier to work with versus other people that want me to like, you know, shoot literally all day long and need me to reposition the car 100 times and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of pride myself on my ability to work quickly and to just kind of get it done without, you know, too much fuss.
I think we're similar in that way, Pat, is because I'm a total feeling guy. I'm not a like, you know, total numbers guy, if you will. I don't necessarily, I'm a total feel dude, you know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily even know what I'm going to do till it starts. You know what I'm saying? I have to get to the scene, feel it out first. Okay, what's this? What's that? And then you're like, all right, you know what? Why don't you lay this way and do this and let's see what happens.
Well, I mean, I like flew out to Oklahoma one time to shoot 2 cars. I've never been to Oklahoma. And that person was like, I don't know where we're going to shoot it. You know, here's a couple ideas, drive around. And so you kind of, if you try to be too structured with something, you're kind of screwed. That's like that Pinnacle portfolio where we shot those 23 cars in downtown LA. We were finding, you know, as I was shooting one car, someone else was driving around looking for the next location. And then like we literally just, you know, found it and shot it like minutes later at that location, that kind of stuff. And we kind of had to do it that way, which we could have actually at any point kind of gotten kind of a giant fine because you're supposed to have permits to do anything in LA, you know, photo, video. And in fact, one location we were told we weren't allowed to shoot there, and we just did it anyway and just ran away. But it was a cool location. So
yeah,
and it's the best times
before they notice. Yeah,
yeah. You know, prior to coming to Phoenix, I haven't done it here in Phoenix, but in Albuquerque, I shot in the street a lot, and it was like, okay, girls, here we go. We're gonna, I need you ready for this. You're gonna hold this. You're gonna hold that. I'm gonna shoot her. You're gonna switch. You're gonna hold this. You're gonna get in the street. You're gonna do this and that. You got to watch my back. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna in and out in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, man, boom, 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 boom. You know, and it's great. It's just like you get.
That spot where we shot the NSX is.
Oh,
I don't know if there was a sign at this time, but I went there and shot a Land Rover there recently, and there's like no trespassing signs there now.
Oh.
That say like you can be fined and whatever else.
Oh.
We went and did it anyway, but I don't know if I just missed them when we were there or not. But
didn't see them the first time.
Supposedly Phoenix is like cracking down on requiring permits and stuff. Like they're gonna start being more like that, like Phoenix and Scottsdale and whatever else. I haven't ran into it yet.
Well, before I lived here, Phoenix was the area that I would come and shoot and be kicked out regularly.
Really?
Yeah. So that was before I moved here, so I already knew that about Arizona. I was like,
they're starting to. I think it's more just a way to generate more revenue, than anything. It's they charge whatever $100 for a permit, and they can make a little extra money doing it.
Can't imagine how much money LA makes off it.
Yeah, tens of thousands.
You get fined. I think if you get fined in LA for not having a permit, I think it's like a $2,000 fine.
And what's a permit costing it?
Which LA is a little different because, LA there is literally everything filming at any,
Yeah.
So I kind of get it to an extent in LA, but.
Yeah.
I don't think the permits are that, from what I've seen from some of the portrait guys that make videos and stuff. It's not a matter of the expense, because the permits actually in most cases are pretty affordable.
Mm-hmm.
$40 here for the day, or $30 here for the day, that sort of thing. They're not really crazy expensive. Just LA's got a process for getting them.
Right.
They all have a process. Some of them can happen pretty quick. LA, you have to apply, you have to this and that. You'll probably get it, but
that was the problem for us.
Shooting in LA is that, that day might not be open.
Right, and that's the problem we had. Is like I said, we had no idea where we were shooting the cars until we were shooting them.
Yeah.
So to go through a whole process of doing that in advance would have been
impossible. You would have never. Yeah, wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah, well, you took the risk and you didn't get hit and you didn't get dinged, so it worked out.
There's one person that asked us. They were like, "You got a permit to shoot here?" And we're like, "Oh no, we thought it was okay." And he's like, "All right." And he walked inside a building. So we're like, "Okay, let's leave. We don't need to be here whenever."
By the time it comes back out.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, good show, guys. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day tomorrow. Good week. And back next Sunday. So take care, guys. All right.
All right, man.
See ya.
Cheers.
Yep.